So today we're taking over the Los Angeles Angels because Mike Trout deserves a World Series. And I feel like the only way that's going to happen in MLB The Show. And I say that because the Angels are in such a weird spot. They're drafting players to get them into the majors like within a year. They're signing veterans. So it's clear that they're still trying to be competitive. But realistically, this roster is not a competitive roster. Like after Otani left, it really should have been a tear it down and rebuild, but then you still have Mike Trout. So there is a pressure to be competitive every single season. But Artie Moreno has got it all wrong. So I need to step in. Let's go win a World Series. Today's roster is a new one from the Vault. These guys make a roster every single year. It's franchise fidelity to reality. Essentially, they try to make the most realistic outcomes for franchise. So if you're looking for a roster, go check it out. So looking at this team, we've got Kikuchi on a 3-year deal. I believe it is the big off-season acquisition. We've got Soriano. We'll see what happens with Detmers. Is he a bullpen arm? Is he a rotation arm? Anderson and Hendricks in contract years. And then realistically with the bullpen, whatever happens, happens. If Ben Joyce becomes the closer, sure. If not, we might just have a completely new bullpen by next year. Ryan Johnson, I know, is the guy who has like no minor league experience and they called him up. We'll see what happens with that in real life. But for this, who knows? And then lineup wise, for franchise in this game, there's some solid bats, but I'm thinking Shanuel, Trout, Ohapi, and Neto are kind of the main pieces I want to build around. We'll see what happens with Renifo. We'll see what happens with Taylor Ward. But right now, a lot of question marks with this lineup. MLB The Show thinks Nelson Rada is our top prospect, so we'll see if he gets into the team. 19 years old, there's some development to be had, but hey, who knows? Next up, we've got Caden Dana, who's probably the next pitcher up for this rebuild. We'll have to wait and see. Christian Moore, I really want to get him. Probably not this year. I'm going to let him develop as much as possible, but he will for sure be in for next year. And then George Clausen, another pitcher that has a little bit of hype around him. So we'll see what happens. But hey, 2 pitchers, a second baseman, maybe Nelson Rada too. Not bad to start. And just a quick little peek, you can see the team, we'll see. Renifo contract season, the 2 pitchers in the starting rotation as well. I don't know. I'm not like attached to a lot of guys in this team. Honestly, by season 2, 3, it might be a completely new look Angels. We'll have to wait and see. Draft day. And somehow only 2 games out of the division. I talked down upon this team so much, and somehow we're in a playoff race. Wild card, we have the spot, but I will say Yankees not doing so well. So maybe we just got like a really wonky situation going on, because like looking at the rotation, like 1 pitcher with a ERA below 4.5 in the starting rotation, that's pretty brutal. Bullpen's looking really good though. Ian Anderson struggling a little bit, but he's only pitched 17 innings, and Brock Burke is also struggling. But outside of that, every other arm is doing really well, and offensively, I'm pretty happy with it too. Like it's not like leading the league in anything, but they're getting the job done. It's doing fairly well. A couple players are underperforming, but for the most part, I'm pretty happy with everything that's going on. Like really happy. So I think deadline pitching is probably the area I'm looking to improve the most. If we weren't in a playoff race, like if we were sitting where the Athletics are, I would call up Caden Dana and also George Clausen. But I think because we're in the race, let's try to bring in maybe an expiring contract or someone that we can keep in the rotation moving forward. But draft is first. Obviously, we have the restriction where we have to pick an older player. Let's see what we can do. All right, so in the draft, we have the second pick, and I have 3 players that I want to choose from. So, like, we're going to get one of them easily. So I'm thinking Zach Valentin, the Dominican, looks pretty good. 22 years old. Pitch control is a little low, but outside of that, he's going to be somewhere in the mid to high 60s and good potential. So I'm pretty happy there. Johan Benitez, I honestly think we could get this guy later in the draft, like maybe 2nd or 3rd round. So like, I don't feel like I need to get him right now because we discovered him. Good potential, good overall, lefty, decent pitch mix. I'd feel happy getting him. And then Antoine Frazier is my number 1 pick. He's number 1 according to our scouts. The overall looks great. The potential looks great. The bat is a lefty. I mean, look at the hitting attributes. The fielding doesn't look great. The speed doesn't look great either. Like, they look okay, but the hitting is where it's at. So I want Antoine Frazier. And then just in case, things are looking a little bleak and we have to go pitcher, we've got like Escobar for later. And then we've also got like really good hitters for later. We've got Steiner, who we discovered. We've got Robinson, Corey, Ullman, Aguero, Guildhouse, Lou McKinnon. So like some bats for later. And then we've got James, the catcher, Damon, the pitcher, and then Cosmo Gomes, another catcher. So I'm pretty stacked. I'm ready to go for this draft. Don't pick Antoine Frazier with the first pick, please. I don't see the beard. They're gonna go Cletus Reyes, the catcher. So that means I'm going Antoine Frazier. And then with the third pick, the Mariners are going to choose Ronald Beltran. All right, let's see the next pick. It looks like a couple guys on our board got chosen. Let's see if we can find them here. We've got Corey who went, and who else? Valentine went along with. Hold on, where did? Oh, wait. Where'd that other outfielder go? So there's Corey. Where's the other outfielder? Am I missing him? Am I blind? There he is, Robinson. He went the 16th pick. I was like, where did he go? I was looking to see where he went. Okay, do I risk it and try to take Benitez in the next round and then just try to pick a position player here? I'm thinking Gary Guildhouse. I like the bat. The fielding sucks. The reaction sucks, but he's got a decent arm and good speed. Switch hitter, can play second, short, potentially even third, to be honest. And like Aguero's bat doesn't look amazing. Ullman, kind of the same situation. Same thing with Steiner. So like even McKinnon's bat doesn't look great. Does this catch? Ooh, this catcher's bat does look pretty good though. But I feel like we could get him maybe the fourth round based on his draft rank. Like Damon probably doesn't make it to the next round either, but he's gonna be in the 50s. And I don't like the hits per nine or the walks per nine. So as much as his name is like amazing, I'm just not going to choose him. So I'm thinking either Guildhouse or Benitez. I'm going to get greedy and see if we can get Benitez in the next round. I'm going to pick Gary Guildhouse. All right, because Benitez is here in the third round, I'm going to choose him. And I also have plenty of position players to finish out the draft. So if someone gets taken, like I was kind of hoping James would have made it to us. But I think these guys, if they make it to, let's see here. Who do I want more? I probably want the position player more, even though this pitcher does look amazing, but he looks like he's gonna be like a 40 overall. So that catcher would have been nice to get. Where did he go? Oh, both catchers went over here. We don't necessarily need a catcher, and they both look like they're in their 50s. I mean, these guys also look like they're gonna be in their 50s. So I'm gonna go Steiner here, I believe. Yeah, I'm gonna go Steiner. We're gonna go like that. And then we'll pick the pitcher just to ensure we get another pitcher. And if that position player makes it to us at the end, which he does, I don't think I have anybody else. I could go a reliever. Ooh, he's probably going to be like 70s or something like that. Do I have like that bat looks terrible. That bat looks so bad. I'm going to go the reliever. I'm going to go Lewis Henderson out of Germany. Why not? Let's get an extra pitcher in there. Okay, so we went through a really rough patch, basically from the draft onwards. Now we're 9 games out of the division and 1 game out of the wild card. So I'm still gonna try to win, but yeah, that was brutal. All right, first trade, Eric Fetty of the Cardinals. I'm gonna show you it. It's not gonna be pretty. 5 ERA. I know, but the whip at 1.2 gives me some hope. Also, where is his FIP? 4.27. I think we could work with that. Expiring contract, so if it doesn't go great, we can let him walk. Ryan Noda is kind of like the big piece here. He's mashing in AAA. He's just not in the future for the team. And then also Randy DeJesus, 40 or 59 overall. Like, sure, maybe in the future he could be good, but realistically, let's try to win now. And then Johan Oviedo was on the trade block. In real life, I believe he is out for the year with Tommy John. I believe. AAA in this, though, he's doing really well. And I'm going to pick him up. If he does poorly, we can see if we can rock with Arb and see how that goes. But I'm giving up Denzer Guzman, Victor Medeiros, who is 23 years old, 64 overall. And then Quijada, who, can I give him Kraus instead? I can. I think that's what I want to do. Kraus is doing really well in AAA. Is there another, like Perdomo? Would you take Perdomo? I'll do that. We'll do that. So this is the new look rotation with Fetty and Oviedo along with Jack. I'm not even going to keep trying to pronounce that last name. We're just going to call him Jack. Detmers and Hendricks got moved to the bullpen. Tyler Anderson got DFA'd, and so did Brock Burke. So they're going to be on waivers. If they get picked up, that's fine. It's not a big deal. Quijada is going to come up as the new lefty, and then offensively, staying the same. Josh Robinson was ranked in the 30s by our scouts. 67 overall, looks a terrible fielder with good speed and good hitting. 95 potential. Valentin has B potential, 64 overall. He went to the Blue Jays. 87 potential is not bad. James actually looks pretty decent. 58 overall, but look at those hitting stats already. A potential too, 97. Oh, we missed out on a good catcher. At 6 foot, could have played a couple different positions too. Another outfielder that we talked about, Jonah Corey. Decent fielding, decent speed. The vision and discipline and clutch are pretty low, but he does have good potential at 94. Cosmo Gomes was another catcher we talked about, a potential. So we missed out on this. Was actually a pretty big, like, good class. And then Damon has 92 potential. Honestly, the hits and the walks per nine bring him down, but the rest of the per nines look great. Our worst potential player was Lewis Henderson, which I kind of expected. 74 potential, but 63 overall, so could potentially be a reliever for us. Shipley has 92 potential, but 53 overall. Steiner, B potential, it's 88 potential, 57 overall. Like I said, bat really wasn't there, but good fielding, good speed. Benitez has 89 potential, and to be honest, honestly doesn't look too bad. Yeah, the hits per nine is a little low, but overall pretty happy with it. 85 potential for Guildhouse, good arm, really good speed and stealing, and then the bat, not too bad. Switch hitter, I feel like we could use him at some point. And then pick number one, or our first overall pick, Antoine Frazier, 73 overall, 91 potential. Yes, the fielding sucks. Speed at 59 is not too bad, but the hitting stats, perfect. 81 and 81. Honestly, 500, I am okay with. And yeah, we didn't make the postseason, but I really expected us to be at the bottom of our division and also the bottom of the AL. So to be sitting at 500, we're way ahead of schedule. We have a league leader, and that's Mike Trout with walks. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'm also in AAA for some reason. And we do have an award, but really quickly, let's see where we ranked as a team. We were, 19th for batting average. What about runs? We were right in the middle, about 14th. And then runs allowed, really quickly, just to kind of get an idea of how the pitching was, because I feel like this is kind of where we struggled as a team. We were 24th. So yeah, towards the bottom of baseball. Awards, we got a delivery man of the year for Kenley Jansen, which is pretty solid. Judge won MVP along with Matt Olson. Okay, beating out Ohtani. But Ohtani did win Cy Young along with Logan Gilbert. Bo Bichette and Jeff McNeil won the batting title. Tanner Scott and Kenley Jansen, relievers of the year. And then you got Kumar Rocker and Matt Shaw with 32 home runs as the rookie of the year. Okay, so pitching, really quickly, we will see Ian Anderson pitched, what, 4 more innings, I think? He at least got the ERA down. So he's a guy that's in the mix for a bullpen spot next year. I'm not worried about these two. They're going to be gone next year. And that's, Garrett McDaniels. How did you do? Honestly, really good. Really good. So he's another guy I can probably get into the mix next year. Reed Detmers struggled, so we'll see. I don't know if he's going to be a starter for us. I don't know if he's going to be a bullpen arm. I don't even know if he's going to be on the team. Could be a trade piece. We've got Zephyr John, or Ryan. We're going to call him Ryan. Really good season in 81 innings. Really happy there. Kraus did not pitch. Johnson, 100 innings. He was busy this season for sure. We've got Quijada, who wasn't amazing, and Ben Joyce as the setup guy. 43 holds. ERA and whip are a little bit high, but good development. Pretty happy there. Bachman didn't pitch, and Jansen will not be coming back, but 48 saves. Pretty solid there. 5 short of 500. 5 short of 500. Will he find a team to give him the opportunity? Our starters, Kikuchi got his ERA down to a 4.2, so small improvements towards the end of the season. Soriano actually went up, I think, by like half a point, which is not great. Fetty did drop from a 5 to a 4.3. We've got Oviedo, who really struggled this year. Yeah, not great. This is probably our downfall right there. And then Jack held it down, man. He was doing the business. Offensively, let me see who they sent down. I never called up Christian Moore. I felt like being in the playoff race, let's hold off. But I definitely think he's a guy we can get into the team next year. And Darno, they sent down Darno. Yeah, he was pretty bad. But we have him for a few more seasons, so I don't really know what to do with that. Let's see. Anybody else? No. Okay, so the bench, Tim Anderson has had a pretty decent season in terms of growth, but Nicky Lopez was decent off the bench, kind of like the main. Oh, actually, JD Davis not bad either. Okay. And if we take a look at our starters as a whole, we do have one more year of Taylor Ward. Honestly, not a bad bet. I'm pretty happy with the numbers that he put up. Shanuel, 18 home runs, also a pretty good season average on a base percentage wise. Trout, hey, those are great numbers. Some regression versus lefties, but overall pretty good. Soler, we've got him for one more year. I'm gonna see if I can do a salary dump in the offseason. I would just rather get a different DH. Renifo, yikes, and becomes a free agent. I don't know. I don't know. It really depends on the contract that he wants. Joe Adell, 22 home runs, but the rest of the numbers don't look great. Moncada, cooled off for the second half of the season. It kind of looks like offensively we cooled off a little bit towards the end of the year, but Ohapi with 23 home runs is not bad. Neto with 23 home runs, also not bad, but the rest of like the average on base percentage and OPS don't look great. So yeah, it looks like offensively we kind of cooled off towards the end of the year. Really quickly, we'll take a look at our prospects. We've got Nelson Rada, who had some decent development, not too much contact versus lefties, but overall not bad. Caden Dana also had some pretty good development, which is good to see. 63 overall, probably not going to see him. Christian Moore at 68. And then George Clausen, definitely a guy I'm going to consider for maybe a 4 or 5 spot in the rotation. So no postseason. Let's see how the offseason finishes. The Braves defeat the Guardians, and it's time to get to the offseason and figure out what we want to do with this team. We did lose a couple coaches from what I saw, and I don't even know what to do with this. Looking at how much everybody wants, Fetty wants like 20 mil a year, Renifo wants like 13, 14 a year, which isn't terrible. It's just like I want to see how much money we can open with a couple trades and things like that. So I'm going to leave it. 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 And then I'm going to send Soler to the Mets. I'm salary dumping, so I don't really want anybody in return. I could get something, but let's just let him go. Alrighty, so we're in the offseason. I've got a dilemma because I can only afford one big splash, but I want a starter and a bat. These are my two options: Kyle Tucker, Dylan Cease. Kyle Tucker, 29 years old, a potential 91 overall, coming off of a really good season, 36 home runs, 924 OPS. Attributes look really, really good. And I'm looking at it going, hey, this looks familiar. Look at the attributes. Antoine Frazier's hitting kind of gives me Kyle Tucker vibes. This is kind of like we have a Kyle Tucker at home. I'm not saying this is like keeping me like, hey, we shouldn't sign Kyle Tucker because we have Frazier, but I do like that we have a good hitting prospect that could help us out in the outfield, because what we could do is Frazier to left, Tucker in right, Trout DH, and then Joe Adell in center. Center's still a little bit of a question mark, but that's a really good outfield right there. Trout's currently in center so that I don't have any motivation decrease when trying to sign Kyle Tucker, because Kyle Tucker saw Trout in right field and saw it as a position competition, which is a motivation decrease. So I want the best odds to sign Kyle Tucker. But then looking at our pitching, we could use Cease. Signing Cease would move Kikuchi to the 2 spot, and then 3, 4, 5 in the rotation would be Detmers, Soriano, Oviedo, Klassen, Dana, and then any other fringe pitcher that we have. That's a lot of pitching depth. Our budget's 67 mil. Could I afford both? Yes, but then I can't afford to sign a third baseman, bullpen, or bench, and I do need some other help. You saw Rendon at third. He's not playing for this team anymore. He's going on the IL for the whole season. He's out of here. The thing is, we still got to pay his 37 mil contract. That's what's hurting us. So I'm torn right now. Realistically, I got to see if we can get the motivation high enough to sign both of them. So let's see what happens. All right, so here we go. Like, I really need to get lucky. Like, that's really what it comes down to. I'm not interested there. Okay, I could offer Cease a contract, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna risk it. Okay. I'm not interested. Who's he gonna sign for? He's going back to the Padres. I'm really risking it that no one goes after Kyle Tucker. I'm going to throw him the bag. And if I miss out on him, this is a generational fumble. Missed out on both my top targets. And now I'm scrambling to get a free agent in. So let's see what happens. I could have thrown a couple other guys on the board, but contract decision, it comes down to this. Please, I need to see the pens. Give me the pens. Give me the pens. It happened. He signed. That was almost real bad. All right, let's start season 2. We're in an interesting spot because my rotation is basically the same. We added Chris Paddock and then also Jorge Lopez. Jorge Lopez was 4 mil. Chris Paddock was about 12. So yeah, we do have Jack. We do have Reed Detmers. Plenty of depth in the rotation, in the farm system. So like right now, I don't feel great about the pitching staff. It's basically the same. We might have some regression. Not ideal. So with that in mind, I'm going to pick up the expiring contract in Freddie Peralta of the Brewers. He is coming off of a pretty terrible season. I'm hoping for a bounce back. Plus it's 3 mil. I can afford it for now. He does become a free agent, so we could look to extend him if he does really well. Or if he leaves, we can we could just be like, all right, it didn't work out. We'll try again next year. So with that in mind, I think I'm gonna send Bachman and Steiner, who we just drafted, but again, like hitting attributes don't look great. Probably not gonna be much. Let's do that. So Steiner and Bachman, and then Peralta is gonna be the new Angel. I feel like at least this raises the floor of the rotation a little bit more. And with the expiring contract, it doesn't necessarily guarantee that we block Clausen and Dana. So this is what the rotation is going to look like to start the year. No Detmers. He's going to be in AAA. So again, plenty of depth. So let's see what happens. I feel better about it now. Lineup wise, obviously Kyle Tucker, big addition there. We're going to have Drury at third. We'll see how that goes. And then Kyron Paris is going to rock second base. I don't feel great about the attributes, but he might do something. Christian Moore, I was looking at his vision and discipline. I'm just worried he's going to absolutely bomb this season. So let's let him develop a little bit more, and then we'll call him up eventually. He'll definitely be in this rebuild 100%. Wade Meckler was a Rule 5 pickup. I thought with those hitting attributes off the bench, why not? And then Fraley, Castro, Brujan, and Darno round out the bench. Kyle Tucker was our big addition this offseason. Big money. Kind of hindered us money-wise because we still have this contract. But yeah, that's why I didn't go after Dylan Cease, because one, I wouldn't have the money to sign Tucker and Cease, and then I still needed to add to the bench. As you can see, this is a brand new bench minus Darno. So like I had to make some moves, right? So this is the team. I do feel like we're better than an 81 team that we were last year. But at the same time, I could see some regression happening. So let's see how season 2 plays out. Already, season 2's draft, I have a little bit of a predicament. Talent pool, not the best. There are a couple guys that are like really, really good towards the front of the draft. But the issue is we have the 15th pick and we also don't have a second round pick. A little bit of a problem. We signed Kyle Tucker. We lost our second round pick. So we go from number 15 and then our next pick is number 93. So I have 2 options that I'm hoping make it to us at 15. Realistically, one will. The second, I'm not too sure. This is the one I'm not sure about. It's Pineda. The pitcher, he looks good. The only downside is he is currently injured. So that potential, that overall, it could be bad. It's literally a coin flip on if he actually keeps his potential or not. So I don't know if it's worth a first round pick. Plus we have the stipulation where we can only draft first round players over the age of 21. Or we can only draft players over the age of 21 in the first round. There we go. So there's that. The only other option I have that makes sense that I like the looks of is Milt Kovalenko. 6'4" outfielder, can play all across the outfield, looks to be just like a really well-rounded player. So with that being said, let's get through these first 3 picks. I'm like 99% sure there is a generational talent in here. It's not this guy in Luther Turnwall. First off, electric name. Second, the mutton chops. Guy's gonna be a superstar. Second pick, let's see who, I don't even know. Was this the Twins maybe? Who is this? The Twins go with Les Mott, a guy that I wish we could have had an opportunity to draft, but sadly just way too highly rated. And the third pick here to the Marlins, Eric Murillo, the shortstop. So I'm just going to jump to our pick, and both players are available. This was another guy I was hoping would fall to us, but realistically, I knew he wasn't going to. And where is he? Preston Olson, I believe, is the generational talent. So we'll have to wait and see when we look at the the signed draft picks, if he actually is one or not. So both players are available. I just don't know if it's worth risking it with Pineda because of the injury. So with that in mind, I'm just going to take Milt Kovalenko. Let's be safe. All right, so basically from here, it doesn't look too great. I have a couple guys that I have my eye on, but I don't know, maybe like this first baseman potentially. But I'm thinking one of these two in Riggs, who's a corner, like third baseman or first baseman, or Chad Horman, the second baseman. And I think I'm going to go Horman for this pick because I don't really think. Yeah, I'm gonna go Horman. I think that's who I want. For this pick, I'm gonna go with our first baseman here. I'm just gonna call him Beckett. I'm not even gonna try to say that Greek last name, even though he's Canadian. I'm gonna call him Beckett, and that's who I'm gonna finish the what is this, the fifth round? No, fourth round. So for the final two picks, um I really don't know. I think I'm just gonna go with one of these two. I think I'm gonna go with Feliz. Potential's not great, but like it's some of the best that we've got available. And then if I can finish it off here with Bernardo Gonzalez, let's see what we do. I honestly not having that second round pick really threw me off. I was kind of hoping maybe we get a little gem there in the second round, but again, like I said, not the most talented draft class. It was pretty disappointing. As you can see, we're 55 and 42. We're first in the division. Things are going great. A couple players are a little disappointing. So let's see what we can do at the deadline. I'm going to send Kikuchi to the Rockies, and then I'm going to throw in a prospect just to kind of make it a little bit realistic for a reliever who may end up pitching for us, but I don't necessarily know. In Brian Hoeing, Kikuchi is regressing pretty heavily, and he's our worst pitcher in terms of like ERA and whip. I'll take a look at FIP just to kind of get an idea. Yeah, I mean, he's still got a 5 FIP. Like, it's just one of those things where let's get rid of this contract and let's just rock with some of the pitchers that we have. Because honestly, the pitching is not bad. We have one or two eyesores, Kikuchi being one of them. Let's just get rid of him, open up some money. Plus, he had another year on his contract. I need to get rid of this. I just do. I know you're probably thinking, let's get Christian Moore into the team. Let's get some of those draft picks into the team. I do want to get them into the squad. But realistically, Christian Moore is not really doing too much in AAA right now. Like 224 average, like 20 home runs doesn't look terrible. But like Kyron Paris honestly isn't doing great either now that I'm looking at it. Do I just throw in Christian Moore? I kind of feel like I should now that I'm looking at it. I thought Kyron Paris was doing a little bit better. Like 248 average isn't terrible. But the rest of the numbers look pretty bad. Offensively, it's honestly going pretty well. I'm pretty happy with the way the team's doing. Pitching rotation is a little weaker now, but I do feel like we can get through with the two rookies towards the end of the rotation, the 4-5 spot. Bullpen's looking good. We swapped out Hoeing for Quijada and Kraus for Jorge Lopez. Both of them got sent down / DFA'd. So realistically, do I call up Christian Moore? Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna send down like Kyron Paris. I kind of just want him to develop, so I'm gonna send him down, and then I'm gonna call up Christian Moore, put him into the lineup, and that's gonna be the only change. Alrighty, so let's see. Oh nope, I didn't move forward one more day. So boom, there we go. Let's see how the picks are looking. You know what? I'm pretty happy there. Preston Olson did end up being a generational talent like I thought he would be, and I think let's see, Pineda. Who did he go to? I don't know. He went to the Orioles. He did end up being perfectly fine, even with the injury. 87 potential. The hits per nine is pretty low, but overall he looks decent. I don't know. I feel like we did okay with our draft pick. So let's get to ours. Where are we? There we are. Kovalenko. I like those contact numbers. I'm okay with that pick. And then the second one, who also has a potential, definitely more of a project. And then we have 82, 73, 77. So Beckett with the B potential, yikes, doesn't look amazing, I'll be honest. And then the 270 potential guys, I'll take it. Again, like I said, the talent wasn't too crazy. Like you can kind of see a lot of like mid 80s potential, which isn't bad, but like where we were in the draft, a lot of these guys weren't available to us. Plus also the stipulation where we can only draft older players, that hurts us too, because if you fly through it really quickly, oh, this guy was on my radar. He was a guy that we discovered. He just got picked before us. But like you can kind of see, like not too many crazy picks. I mean, these two guys were taken, but we couldn't draft Guardado in the first round, and Quevedo got chosen because we didn't have a second round pick, right? And looking at the rest of it, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling like we got a pretty good draft class based on what I'm seeing talent wise. Like there's a couple decent picks, like I said there would be, but outside of that, I don't know. I feel like we did pretty good. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this draft. I think we did well with what we were given and our stipulations. Let's finish off the season. Alrighty, so with the number 2 seed in the AL, which is good because we almost threw it away here. One game above the Astros. Offensively, with 745 runs, pretty good. But we also allowed almost 700 runs. Where does that rank us as a team. So really quickly, runs allowed, we are tied for 13th. Okay, so that's kind of right in the middle of baseball. What about runs for the team offensively? We are top 10. We are 8th. Okay. All right, so a top 10 offense in terms of run production, just not amazing in terms of preventing runs. Awards, we have Judge with 58 home runs, Otani with 51. So offensively, both pretty good, I would say. Cy Young, 4 ERA, and a 5.2. Okay, yeah, definitely Cy Young contending numbers right there. Jacob DeGrom on the other side, that's a little bit better, I would say. Batting title goes to Judge and Soto. We've got Orion Kirkering and Caleb Ferguson as relievers of the year. And then Rookie of the Year goes to Walker Jenkins and Alex Freeland. Pitching wise, definitely some ups and some downs. Jack Kohanowitz wasn't amazing. I was kind of hoping for like a low 4 ERA. I definitely think that would have been okay. High 4. Not ideal. Hans Krause only pitched 20 innings, but in those 20 innings, quite a few runs, quite a few home runs, quite a few hits. Not ideal. George Klassen, 10 starts. Again, not the best of numbers. Kind of looking for him a little bit better. And then Quijada also struggled a little bit. Not terribly, but a lot of hits, quite a few walks. Definitely wish a little bit better. And then Jorge Lopez, I definitely jumped the gun on him. I took him off the 40 man because I had to like TFA him to send him down to AAA. And I forgot to add him back to the 40 man. So I can't add him to the postseason roster. Overall, not a terrible year. It's just a lot of home runs, a lot of hits. Not the best there. So instead, this is what we're going to rock with in the bullpen for the postseason. Oviedo was the guy that I was hoping for a little bit better. I was hoping for like a low 4 ERA. Didn't get that. Detmer's only pitched 20 innings because in AAA, he really struggled. I called him up in September. Gave us 20 innings, allowed 19 hits. But like the numbers aren't terrible. I don't really know how to judge him off of this, but with how he was performing in AAA, I don't have the most confidence. Ryan number 1, great season. Ryan number 2, even better season. And then we had Brian Hoeing, who we got at the deadline. He had a pretty good season, I would say. Ian Anderson didn't pitch at all. Stevenson in his contract year was fantastic. And Ben Joyce was also very good. We look at our starters. Freddie Peralta was probably the best one, which it's not bad. We definitely could extend his contract. I just kind of want to see what the rest of the market's looking like. Soriano was pretty solid also. He honestly might have been their best pitcher. So there's that. Caden Dana was okay. You know, like a 3.68 with a 1.3 whip is not bad. We need to see him in a full season, though. So, like, this is like a half a season, and I'm pretty happy with those numbers. Chris Paddock, oh boy, that's just next. Let's talk about the lineup here. The one downside, Christian Moore really struggled at 160 ABs. I kind of expected it, but not great. Frazier's up to a 75. He's definitely on my watch list to potentially call up next season. And I really think that's about it. In terms of the Rule 5 pick that we had, Wade Meckler, off the bench, not bad. Travis d'Arnaud is a 59 overall now, so we'll definitely need a new backup catcher. But the numbers aren't bad. Not terrible. Jake Fraley was probably our worst bench bat because when you look at the rest, Rodolfo Castro was pretty solid. Vidal Brujan was pretty solid. Like, pretty happy with the bench. Taylor Ward is our leadoff hitter with 20 home runs. Not a bad season from him. He's about to become a free agent. We've got Mike Trout, who's up to a 93. Great season. 908 OPS, almost 50 home runs. Love to see it. Kyle Tucker right behind him, almost a 900 OPS with 28 stolen bases, by the way. He has 39 speed. Okay, Joe Waddell, what do we got? 22 home runs. Okay, I'm thinking maybe Joe Waddell is our new Jake Fraley, and we just try to find a real center fielder. We'll see, though. Brandon Drury really cooled off second half of the season, which is a big bummer because he was actually pretty useful in the first half of the year. Nolan Shanuel, pretty solid, or Shanuel. We'll call him Nolan. Either way, 340 on base percentage, 26 home runs. Not bad. Logan O'Hoppe with almost 30 home runs, pretty solid. And then Kyron Paris up to a 67 overall. Not the best of seasons. We'll see what we can do with him moving forward. And Neto, 21 home runs. OPS is pretty low for him, though. Don't like that. Let's head into the postseason, though, because realistically, I'm not expecting too much. I'm a little disappointed with some of the performances of the players. So if we can make it past this first round, great. If not, let's try to improve this team. First win, okay. We do take a loss in the second. Caden Dana gets us the advantage heading into game 4, and Chris Paddock closes it out. So you know what? All right, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Okay, 1-1 series against the Orioles. We're down a game. We're tied 2-2. Peralta takes the loss there. It is down to Soriano versus Grayson Rodriguez, and our season is over a little bit short of a World Series. But I will take that for sure. We made it a little bit farther. I feel like we're a little bit ahead of where I wanted to be moving into season 3. So let's see what we can do. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. I'm actually liking what we've got going on here. I'm gonna be honest. How much do you want? 18 is not bad. I'd go 20. I'd go 20. This is actually less than what he wanted during the regular season. So I'm gonna go 360. And that's going to be the offer for Freddie Peralta, our only offer heading into the offseason. So I'm at arbitration. I'm looking at 2 players in Detmers and Oviedo. Detmers is 2 years younger, a little bit higher in the overall. And I really only need 1. We still have Clausen. And at the same time, I'm looking to add somebody in free agency to the rotation to raise the floor of the team a little bit. So I'm looking at these 2 going, I'm probably going to get similar production out of them. It's going to be somewhere in the 4s. Maybe a little bit higher whip than normal. But like realistically, I just feel like let's keep Detmers. Let's give him one more chance to earn a spot with the team. Plus, Oviedo becomes a free agent at the end of this season. So we might as well cash in that experiment. It just didn't work out. I was hoping it would have. It just didn't. So a team that does need a pitcher, the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays do. And I'm going to pick up Orelvis Martinez, who they've only used for 11 games. And at 25 years old, I feel like this is our third baseman for the future. So it's going to be Oviedo and Errol Vera for Orelvis Martinez. There we go. And then I was looking at other teams with pitchers that might be like becoming free agents or anything like that. And I noticed the Twins have Pablo Lopez, Joe Ryan, and Bailey Ober all becoming free agents fairly soon. And I was looking at their roster. It's not necessarily the best. So maybe they go through a little bit of a retool. I'm going to pick up Joe Ryan, and I'm going to give him a couple younger players. And with the recent acquisition of Orelvis Martinez, Cole Fontanelli doesn't necessarily have a spot. He actually doesn't look bad. Switch hitter, 6'3", can play third base, decent hitting attributes. It's just I don't know if he gets into the team now. And with Gary Guildhouse right behind him, who is also a switch hitting third baseman, I feel like he is a little bit of a player that is expendable. Nothing against him. I think I might try to pick him up in a future rebuild because he actually looks pretty decent. It's just we picked up somebody else, and this allows us to get Joe Ryan out of the deal. So I'm going to go Fontanelli and Trey Gregory Alford, who has beat potential and is like 60 something overall, 66 overall. That's the trade. And then I'm targeting lefty pitching in the offseason. I'm looking at Minter or Keegan Aiken for the bullpen, and then I'm looking at Garrett Crochet as our big splash. I definitely think that's someone that'll elevate this pitching staff right at the top of the rotation. Crochet, Peralta, Soriano, Caden Dana, Joe Ryan. I'm even if it's like this with Peralta with Garrett Crochet at the top, this team looks insane. That definitely raises the ceiling of the squad, raises the floor of the squad as well. And yeah, I'm liking where we're headed. We still got like 100-ish mil to play with, as you can see in the top left. They're available to spend 105 mil. So I really need these guys to sign. But for some reason, we're considered an underdog after we just made the postseason. I don't get that. Let's see how the offseason plays out. Season 3, look at us, 15th ranked, 3rd power, 6th pitching, 10th speed. Don't look at the other 2 because we're not greatly ranked there. Contact, no defense. It's okay. Pitching, the big splash. Garrett Crochet is now an Angel. It did cost a lot of money. It was 9 years, 42.5 mil. I know. Yikes. Basically, what happened was I offered him a contract. Then I got a now or never cutscene like 2 days later. So I think I initially offered like 8 years something. And I was like, you know what? Throw the bag at him. 9 years, 42.5. So there it is. We have Peralta, we have Joe Ryan, Soriano, and Caden Dana with Detmers as a long reliever. And the other splash this offseason was AJ Minter for just over 7.5 mil, which last year he was a really good setup guy. The year before, he wasn't amazing, but he wasn't bad either. And I feel like with what we've got going on as a team, pitching looks pretty good. Offensively, this is what we've got going on here. Orelvis Martinez at 3rd. We've got Frazier. Yep, he's making his debut. Christian Moore is also in the team. So you can see a lot of original Angels, a couple new guys. The bench has got a couple guys as well. Jeffers was the backup catcher that is decided to go with 5 mil for a player who can add a little bit of pop off the bench. I think that's a pretty good deal. Pretty good deal for the veteran catcher in Jeffers. Other than that, Matthew Lugo's getting his debut. Vidal Brujan's on the team still with Kyron Paris and Wade Meckler. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. I think this is a pretty well-built squad. If you look at our top prospects, we do have Frazier as number one. Johan Benitez is our third round pick from 2025. He looks like he's developing nicely, but realistically, he has some good trade value. I've looked at him in a couple trades. I think I might trade him if we really need an upgrade at a position. Nelson Rada, I need a big year out of him in terms of development. I do want to get him into the team. I think he can help us out. And then there really isn't anybody else that could make the team. Maybe Louis Henderson if we're like dying for a reliever. Maybe Milt Kovalenko if we're dying for a bat. Same thing with Gary Guildhouse. But I feel like right now our team is fairly young outside of like Trout and Kyle Tucker. I think everybody else is like, what, 28 and under? Yeah, 27 and under in the starting lineup. So it's looking pretty good. And pitching wise, I feel like it's the same thing too. Peralta at 30, Joe Ryan at 30. And our bullpen, Hoeing and Minter, are the only ones above 30. So pretty young team, couple veterans sprinkled in there. I think this is our year. Back-to-back seasons, number 2 in the AL in terms of seeding. So there's that. If we look at the standings, again, it came down to the wire. 1 game above the Rangers, and we tied with the Mariners. So it's not run scored, it's not run against. That is the tiebreaker because we were worse than the Mariners in that category. So I'm assuming it's record against. We had the same division record. We had a worse home record, but a way better away record. Like we were really good away this season, but hey, we won the division. That's all that matters. Awards. Judge is MVP again, along with Ohtani. Both of them kind of just running away with MVPs there. Cy Young for Ohtani again. Look at the numbers Schwellenbach put up. I feel like that's pretty good. Same thing with Christopher Sanchez. I don't know. Tarek Skubal won Cy Young on the other side. Judge and Ohtani batting title winners. Reliever of the year goes to Orion Kerkering once again, and Justin Slayton for the Red Sox. We finish it off with Rookie of the Year. Frazier finished second to Colt Emerson, who is an 85 overall. Yeah, he's developed pretty nicely in this so far. Had a pretty decent season. I would actually say it's a pretty comparable season to what Antoine Frazier put up. I mean, what's probably the difference here? The RBIs are probably the difference, and Preston Olsen, the generational talent for the Brewers, won it on the NL side. So if we take a look at our team, we have some good and some bad again. I'm not gonna lie. Jose Soriano was one of the bad, 6-14 on the year. I was really like 30 less innings pitched, allowing way more runs, less home runs, but just way more runs overall. I wasn't expecting a 3.4 ERA. If we were settling around a low 4, maybe a high 3, I'd be okay. But he kind of regressed back to that 2025 season. Just wasn't the best. So unfortunate there. Caden Dana pitched 190 innings. I wasn't expecting the 2026 kind of numbers. I was expecting a little bit higher. So if we can find somewhere in the middle for 2028, I'd be pretty happy there. Ryan Johnson was still pretty solid there. ERA went up a little bit, but still pretty happy with the production. Connor Brogdon came up for the other Ryan, who really struggled this year. 26 innings, almost an 8 ERA. Pretty tough to keep him in the mix when that's happening. And I'm trying to think of anybody else that we let pitch this year. Klassen got 7 innings and struggled a little bit. He was a September call-up. Things were going really good. And then like the last month or two of the season, we started to fall off a little bit, which was super disappointing, especially the pitching. I don't know what happened with the pitching. Brian Hoeing pitched 100 innings. That's probably a big issue there. 4.5 ERA. Like we shouldn't have our middle relief pitching 100 innings. Shouldn't be the case there. Hans Kraus was 60, and Minter as a really strong setup guy. This 1-year deal was pretty good. Ben Joyce blew 11 saves. Yeah, not ideal, but he's going to remain the closer moving forward. If we look at our starters, Crochet finished with a 3.4 ERA and a 1.12 WHIP. I'm pretty happy with that right there. Like really happy. Obviously, we're paying him a lot of money. I'd like for good production. Pretty strong season. Peralta, very good year. How was he not in the Cy Young mix? I mean, 210 strikeouts, 14-7 on the year with a 2.65 ERA and a 102 whip. That's Cy Young contending stuff. Joe Ryan, okay, not terrible, not terrible at all. I'm definitely okay with those numbers. And then Detmers was our long reliever, but I'm going to move him into the starting rotation for the playoffs because honestly, he was pretty good. He was pretty good when given the opportunity. Lineup wise, our bench was pretty abysmal this season. I'm not going to lie. Way worse than previous seasons, which is a little disappointing for sure. A little disappointing. Shanuel, either way, Nolan just under an 800 OPS, but a good on base percentage, almost 30 home runs in the leadoff role. I'm happy there. Trout is regressing pretty heavily, but he's still putting up fairly good numbers. Kyle Tucker also regressing. And yeah, big dip in his production this year, which is probably another reason why our offense wasn't as potent. Joe Waddell is entering his free agent or his contract year, or he is in his contract year. Not happy there. Realistically, he's probably a guy we let walk. Orelvis Martinez, -10 versus lefties. Ooh. Honestly, not a bad season, though. Not a bad season. I'm okay with that. Oh, Hoppy, why are you regressing? What is going on with the team? Frazier had a pretty good season, especially with development, too. And then Christian Moore, big step forward. Like, it doesn't look great, like a 218 average with a 612 OPS, but considering, 2026's numbers, that's an improvement, and I'm happy there. And then Neto, honestly, pretty disappointing, even though they were pretty similar to what he did last year. So maybe the offense needs a little kick in the face and a little motivation, because holy cow, that was abysmal for some of those guys. But either way, it's playoff time. Angels, Tigers. We lose game 1, but we do win game 2 and game 3. Can Detmers close it out against Jack Flaherty? He can, and now we're taking on the Orioles with Cy Young winner Scooble. Crochet loses the first, and we lose the second. We're going to get swept. Yep. Yeah, just looking at those averages, not great. We get swept in the ALCS. We lose in the ALCS again. Who's going to win? The Orioles. At least we lost to the World Series winners, but that's a tough season right there. Season 3's over. Man, that's tough. So I feel like the offense needs some help. Like obviously we're gonna let Joe Adell walk. Do I hope for a bounce back? Do I get a new pitching coach or a new hitting coach? I feel like our hitting coach is pretty good. Our pitching coach is pretty good. Our manager's fairly solid too. I don't know. I think we bring back Joe Ryan again. I feel like that's not a bad little move here. 22 mils, not bad. Minter for another season, maybe. I think that's also not a bad option for like 8 mil. Yeah. And then Joe Adell can walk. I think those are the moves to start the season. Let's see if we get them on the team. Have they signed? They haven't signed. Uh-oh. And neither pitcher signed with us. So we've got some work to do. Alrighty, off season, I have one goal, and that is a center fielder. So I'm in this weird spot where I either need a placeholder and hope that Nelson Rada takes over and does really well, or I need a center fielder that is my center fielder for the rest of the rebuild. That's going to be tricky because there really aren't that many crazy good center fielders. So currently we have like possibilities to sign this offseason, like maybe Nupar, maybe Victor Robles, but again, I feel like they're more corner outfielders now in their career. We do have Lou Bob, which I feel like is like the oh yeah, let's pick him up. That makes the most sense. But I feel like he's just one of the more popular options that people use for rebuilds, including myself. Let's switch it up. Brandon Marsh, Bellinger, Tavares. I'm not feeling them as center fielders. Steven Kwan probably could get the job done, but again, I feel like a corner outfielder could be our leadoff hitter, but I don't know. I'm just not sold on any of these options in free agency. In-house, we have Rada, who just really didn't develop as much as I was hoping and also really struggled in AAA. So I just don't think he's ready yet. And then Milt Kovalenko, who again, just not ready. So looking around the league, you can kind of see, these top guys are kind of unattainable. I just don't have the trade pieces to make it possible. And like, I'm not really sold on Varsho, O'Neal Cruz. Maybe, maybe O'Neal Cruz, but I don't know. I'm like kind of looking around. Enrique Bradfield Jr. was someone that I was interested in, but the Orioles just won the World Series. They're not going to trade their starting center fielder. So like it's tough. Finding a good center fielder is a problem. So I'm going to take a flyer on Jostinson Garcia, aka the password. He hasn't played a single game with the Red Sox. He's out of minor league options. I'm going to pick him up. The hitting stats look decent. Fielding isn't great. Speed isn't amazing. But let's see if he can hold it down for a season or two. Nelson Rada develops, and then we just go from there. Because I can't really afford a top center fielder. Let's just see if we can get the password to work. So now, how am I going to make this trade possible? I'm going to send them Dioris De La Rosa and also Chad Horman, who we drafted in 2026 in the 3rd round. He's fine. He's the main piece. I'm okay losing him, and we'll pick up the password for our center fielder this year. Season 4, we're ranked very similarly to last year, which makes a lot of sense once you see the team, because I had a little bit of issues with starting pitchers. Luis Castillo is the one that I went with in the end. I'm like 99.9% sure he's going to regress straight into the ground and suck this year. But 20 mil, I signed him. Stays within a division. He was pretty good last year, so maybe we get one more good season out of him. I tried to sign Joe Ryan. He declined the original offer in the exclusive negotiations. And then when I added him to my big board for free agency, he had 7% motivation to sign. And every other big name that I tried to offer a contract to or add to my big board weren't motivated. For some reason, players still see us as an underdog, even though we are coming off of 2 ALCS appearances. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's crazy. I don't even know how I got Garrett Crochet. That's the crazy thing. I don't know how I got him, because no other pitcher was interested in us this offseason. It was crazy. So you're probably thinking, where's Klassen? He's still in the farm system. I'm not sold on him. I'm really not. And then we also added Yoel Payamps to the team for 7 mil. Brought back AJ Minter as well. Both of those guys were pretty interested in joining us. So bullpen's looking pretty good. We've got some depth in the farm system. Lineup wise, Will Wagner's a new bat. I'm really close to calling up Gary Guildhouse because he's a switch hitter. I feel like he could be pretty helpful. Good speed, decent hitting stats. We'll see how that goes. I think that's really it. I signed like this Hernandez guy, a couple other bats to fill out the farm system. And then obviously we have the password in the team, Christian Moore, Frazier. I'm liking this team. I need players to take a step forward though. I'm giving players a lot of leeway. I feel like this is the last year. If it doesn't work out, maybe some of those core pieces I was wanting to build around just can't stay on the team, and we need to upgrade them. With that being said, there was one player that the CPU drafted for me last year. Where is he? This guy. No, it's not him. It's this one. Ray Rivero. They drafted this pitcher. This is the best player that they drafted last year. And if we take a quick look at our top prospects, it's Rada, Benitez, who we drafted in season 1, and then a few other guys along the way. So, yeah, I think that's really it. I mean, because we have Frazier from our first draft. Christian Moore's in the team too. Yeah, I feel pretty good about this. Maybe this is the year. Maybe not. Deadline day, 2 things. We have a lead in the division, and we need to make a trade. The issue is our center fielder just really didn't live up to the hype. Like 11 home runs, 15 doubles. It's not bad. It's just the on-base percentage, the OPS, the slugging, the average, all really low. I need slightly better production. I'm looking at Nelson Rada going, maybe do I give him the chance? I'm also looking at Mike Trout going, wow, you're regressing very heavily. We don't have a lot of time with him being very good in the lineup. And if I need to make a push, I probably should do it this season to try to win. So let's do it. I'm going to the Pirates for O'Neal Cruz. He's got a couple years left on his deal. He's putting up slightly better numbers than what we're currently getting at center field. It's an upgrade. We need to do it. One player I'm okay with getting rid of, Jose Soriano, really struggling this season, becomes a free agent. Let's send him to the Pirates, see if they can fix him. And I'm also going to send them Johan Benitez, who we drafted in the first season. That's going to be the trade. Honestly, I'll even throw in something else just to get an extra player off the books. Let's give them this guy who I signed in free agency this past offseason. He was just chilling there. I figured let's pick him up. There we go. O'Neal Cruz, now an Angel. So Klassen's going to come up and be the long reliever now for the second half of the season, and O'Neal Cruz slots in right there for the offense. I'm still going to keep my eye on Nelson Rada. We might need him later on in the season. Gary Guildhouse has also been called up for the second half of the season. Let's see what we can do with the team. So once again, second seed in the AL. And we actually ran away with the division this time, which is awesome to see. Love to see that. And if we take a look at league leaders, Crochet ran away with a lot of pitching stats. And offensively, Mike Trout had the most home runs, which is good to see. I like seeing that. We do have an award. Do we have something good here? Cy Young for Garrett Crochet. Devers won MVP. Finally, someone beat Aaron Judge. Austin Riley on the other side. Ohtani finishing second this time. But of course, he won Cy Young, which this one actually makes a little bit more sense compared to previous years. So there we go. On the other side, it was our pitcher, Garrett Crochet, with an unbelievable season with a sub-3 ERA and a 1.13 whip. Love it, love it, love it. Castillo, my 0.01% actually came true. I was 99.9% sure he was going to regress and suck. In the end, he was a Cy Young candidate. I mean, hey, I'll take that. I will take that. Batting title went to Chase Midrath and Jackson Merrill. There we go. Wait, what? Okay. Keegan Aiken was actually a player I was interested in. It was either him or AJ Minter. He ends up winning reliever of the year. Josh Hader also wins it in the AL side. Rookie of the year goes to Bryce Rainier and Drew Gilbert. Jadixon Paez. I mean, that's got to be a real player, right? It says it is. 2019, he was drafted in the 4th round. Okay. All right. All right. I mean, he had a crazy season. Insane season. Holy cow. But Bryce Rainier, or Rayner, Bryce Rayner, and Drew Gilbert are your rookies of the year. I don't know why I'm struggling with names right now. Normally I do, but I don't know. Maybe I had too much coffee. That could be the thing. George Klassen had 10 innings pitched. 14 strikeouts is great. It's just the rest of the numbers. 14 hits, 10 runs. I also had Jack come up. He didn't really do much either. He was pretty bad too with an 11 ERA. So I'm going to rock with Klassen and Detmers as my long reliever. I'm really tempted to actually throw up Brian Hoeing because he's got 40 stamina to be the long reliever, and then just move one of these two into this spot and then just send down Klassen. Because like he's given opportunities. He just allows so many runs. That's been the issue with him. And you're probably thinking, well, you never gave him a shot in the majors. It was the same thing in AAA. He would start off so hot. He'd be like sub-3 ERA. And then as the season progressed, he would just slowly get worse and worse and worse. And I just could never get him into the team, especially with the way the pitching was this year. Either way, Reed Detmers continues to do really well. He got 10 starts this season, mostly took over when Soriano got moved, and he was really good. So he took his opportunity when we gave it to him. Ben Joyce really struggled this year. 8 blown saves. That was before the draft. I took him out before the draft. He was sucking it up. He ended up turning things around. He had like almost a 6 ERA, got it down to a 4. Garrett McDaniels is going to come in over, I think actually he's just going to come. Who did I send down? Who is it? Who am I sending down? I don't even remember now. I think, it's just an extra arm. It's just an extra arm that I have in the mix. Brian Hoeing was really good with a 3 ERA. We had another 3 ERA for Ryan Johnson. Connor Brogdon, 72 innings, 2.25 ERA with a sub-1 whip. Look at how consistent this guy is. Doesn't matter how many innings he throws. He is lights out. AJ Minter, fantastic once again. And then back to Klassen. So yeah, you can kind of see what we got going on. Oh, Piamps. Piamps was probably like our worst arm of the bullpen. Outside of that, Ben Joyce and Piamps. Those are the two guys that really let us down this year. We're going to rock with an extra bullpen just because our bench was so bad. There's really no reason to have an extra bench bat. The password sucked. Will Wagner was our best bat by far, easily, because Gary only got 2 ABs, got 1 hit, scored 3 runs. I mean, the guy was productive when he was on the bases, and then Jeffers as a backup catcher, not too bad. So looking at the team, you've got Nolan with 22 home runs, a very good on base percentage. Really happy with what he does at the leadoff spot. Trout down to an 85, but 43 home runs. I will take it all day. Tucker, 30 home runs. Really good bounce back year compared to last year. We've got O'Neal Cruz, 23 home runs, 739 OPS. So he actually got a little bit worse once he joined us, which is not good. Orobas Martinez, not as good as he was last year, which is very unfortunate. 30 more strikeouts than the previous season. Ohapi, maybe this is just going to be kind of like his career norm, somewhere in this range right here. I'll take it. Plus 10 power versus righties for Frazier. 32 home runs, 27 stolen bases, 824 OPS. I like the looks of that. He's up to an 83 overall. Good boost in fielding. Good boost across the board for hitting stats. I'm liking that. And then Christian Moore. Yeah, this is just what you're going to get with Christian Moore. Minus 14 for power versus lefties is pretty brutal. Not going to lie. And then Zach Neto, he also little lackluster. Man, that's tough. I was really hoping Ohapi would have been a little bit better, at least closer to 800 OPS. If Neto was in like the 750s for OPS, I would have been cool with that. You know, maybe pop like 20 home runs is not bad. It's just the rest of the numbers are so poor. All right, it comes down to whoever we're facing in the postseason. The Yankees. All right, I'm kind of interested to see what the Yankees have. Just cause. Let's see what we've got. Alex Vogel saying, looks insane, by the way. 200 ABs. What? Judge is still on the team, obviously. Jason Dominguez, Volpe. I mean, okay, they got Alcantara from the Cubs. So those two new additions offensively, pitching wise, Wheeler, Gore. Okay, some new names. All right, it's a fairly changed team. All right. That's a good start. There we go. Minter ended up being the winner, and he's got a 9 ERA. Oh, so he blew it. And then he got the win, right? Yeah, he blew it in the top of the ninth, and then we walked it off in the bottom half. Then we win 5-1. Come on, Caden Dana, close it out. Yes, that's perfect, because now we can let Crochet start the next game against the Twins. Okay, they were the 1 seed in the AL. So let's go take a look and see what they've got going on here. Josh Robinson, a potential outfielder. That was their very first pick in the first season of the rebuild. Okay, he looks pretty good. Walker Jenkins, Arise. Oh, okay. Back with the Twins. Royce Lewis, Correa, Brooks Lee. I mean, that's an interesting team. Jimmy Crooks of the Cardinals in real life, I believe it is. Interesting team. I feel like our pitching's better. Their bullpen might be better, but I feel like, I don't know. This is an interesting squad. I don't know how to feel about this one. I feel like the Yankees were better, but I mean, they're clearly the number 1 seed for a reason. What about the other side of the bracket? The Braves currently hold a 1-game lead over the Dodgers. All right, here we go, Crochet. I need a big outing. Oh, that's not good. Who lost it? Ben Joyce. At least we shut him out the next game. Then we lose back-to-back games. At least we win to keep our hopes alive, but we need to win the next 2. Comes down to Luis Castillo, and he shuts it down. There we go. Piamps ended up getting the win there, but heading into this series against the Dodgers for the World Series, I already know they've got a crazy team. I already do. Like Alex Freeland, what was he, Rookie of the Year a couple years ago? How did he do this previous season? Not terrible, but Arozarena, Otani, Betts, Will Smith, Pete Alonso, Suzuki, Outman, and Emil Morales. This is the guy from Spain, right? Like the Canary Islands, I believe he is. I think he's from the Canary Islands. Prospect out of the Dodgers system. Then they got Altuve, Pajes. I don't even know who this is, to be honest. I don't know who this is in real life. So, I mean, he's clearly a prospect that the Dodgers have had. I mean, I'm going to look him up. Oh, yeah, just like another freak prospect that the Dodgers have. No biggie. I mean, this team is insane. This is a gross team. I don't know how I'm going to beat them. Can I beat them? I mean, I got to flip my rotation to the normal, but like this one's going to be brutal. All right, for the upset of the century, I can feel it. See right there, that's a good start. And then we lose the second. We got shut out. Okay. Crochet on the mound to close it out. Alrighty, here we go. To close out the World Series, you hit him. You put a base runner on for Otani, who's hitting 462. And then you walk him. I mean, we can't be doing that. I mean, luckily we got out of it, but good Lord, we got lucky. We got so lucky. Hold on. Okay, I thought my lineup was mixed up for some reason. So Runner was thrown out going home. The defense is there for sure. Holy smokes. And then a home run from Logan O'Hoppe. There we go. That is huge. 1-0. Let's hold the lead. Let's build on it. Let's build on this lead or not. We don't have to do that. That's fine. I guess we could just hold a 1-0 lead and just let me build here with anxiety as I watch it throughout the entire game. The most nerve-wracking game possible, a 1-0 game against the Dodgers. But we do get a single there from Antoine Frazier. Christian Moore doesn't do much. Zach Neto delivers with an RBI double, and that's it. That was it. That was it. Okay, so not much, but at least we doubled our lead, 2-0. Man, I think I have to take Crochet out. He's so tired. This is brutal. Do I go to like Freddie Peralta here? He is the next starter, so like I probably should be smart here. I'm gonna go Piamps, and let's see what happens. He gets the strikeout, a single, a flyout, and then a strikeout again. That's huge. Kyle Hurt's going to come in. This is where we blow it open. Just C. This is what I'm talking about. Runner thrown out going home. Just take first and third. There was no outs in the inning. Be smart. Like, who is my third base coach? Getting fired tomorrow. Like, not even, just don't get on the plane, to be honest, going home. Like, you're not doing that. All right. Pitching change. Banda comes into face Nolan here, the ground out, no run scores. That's fine. 8th inning, we're going to go to our setup guy in, let's see, righty switch. We're going to go to Brogdon. I'm feeling good. Fielder's choice. Okay. Another pitch. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Mike Trout here. Let's extend the lead. It's a good start. A little single, double play. Alrighty, Minter. I know it's lefty versus 3 righties, but I need you here more than ever. A good first out, a good second out, and it all comes down to this. So the first pitch to Andy Pages, here it is. It's way up in the zone. Not great, not great. I know Minter is tired. I know he is, but I need him. I need him to empty the tank here. I need him to close it out. That's a good pitch. A little circle change. Has Pages in front of it. The towels are going crazy in the background there. Let's end it here. Pages is 2 for 3 on the day. So I need Minter to not do that. Another circle change down the middle is crazy work. But he has them 1-2 down to their final strike. What does he go with here? Alrighty, 2-2. Minter's ready. And the pitch is way too low. Way too low. Pete on deck. I mean, he is not like a 189 average isn't crazy, but a full count with 2 outs. I mean, this is kind of important. He gets him to fly to center field, camps out under it. The Angels win a World Series. So there it is. The Angels rebuild completed. Where's Trout? How are we gonna have a World Series celebration and there's no Trout? How are we gonna? That feels disrespectful. That feels so disrespectful. World Series MVP was Kyle Tucker. MVP or playoff MVP was Nolan. Okay, I mean, 3 RBIs. That was what we had going on here. Postseason. Okay. 14 RBIs for O'Neal Cruz, 12 for Nolan there. Let's take a look at the pitching. Peralta was absolutely lights out this postseason. Same thing with Caden Dana. Castillo struggled a little bit, and Crochet was unbelievable. Had 11 strikeouts in that final game of the World Series. Bullpen-wise, definitely some guys who struggled, but one bad outing is going to destroy their ERA during the postseason. Nolan was fantastic. Trout cooled off a little bit, but again, when you look at how much he's regressed since we started this rebuild, you know what? I'm just happy that he popped off this final season, and we finally got him a World Series. Tucker was great. O'Neal Cruz performed when we really needed him to in the postseason. Orelvis Martinez didn't really live up to the hype, but you know what? I think it was an okay pickup. We have O'Hoppe, who did very well in the postseason. Same thing with Frazier. No home runs, but a 308 average. And then, of course, the other guys here with Moore and Neto. Neto was pretty good in the postseason, too. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the team we built. Bringing in Tucker, bringing in Cruz, a couple new faces, a couple draft picks. You know what? Angels rebuild complete. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new and enjoyed the content, and of course, check out this video on screen now. I definitely think you'll like this rebuild. That's about it. Catch you in the next one. Peace.